Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Sunday the 6th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got this morning, fairly decent time frame, got up and around, got a few things done here and there. Had the last dog getting picked up a day early. They got back in town, they wanted to pick the dog up, so I was like, okay, no big deal. Actually, they're in early. They told me yesterday they wanted to pick the dog up today, this morning early, and I said, yep, that'll work. So I was like, okay, no big deal. And then I assumed early meant early. So I was like, no problem. Went ahead, got up, got the dogs fed, got them all out, all that kind of stuff. Got Bruce taking care of everything. And then I was kind of hanging around in the morning and waiting to hear from them. My cousin's also in town with her husband and kids, and they're down for a few days. And they were going to come over and basically hang out for a while and possibly watch the rocket launch. There's supposedly a rocket launch today at like 7 something, I think, or 8 something is supposed to go off. So I got pushed back to 9 something, whatever. So we were kind of chatting about that and went ahead, and they were going to come over for dinner. We were going to go out to eat and then basically watch the rocket launch. And most likely I figured we'd take them back, drop the kids, or drop my mom back off the house, then wait for the rocket to launch. But kept waiting for them to come pick the dog up, didn't hear from them, and finally heard from, I don't know, late morning, and said that they were going to go out for breakfast in a little bit. And they get down there, they'd give me like a 5-minute heads up, pick the dog up. And I'm like, well, I'm getting ready to go for my run, so I need at least a 15-minute heads up. So that way I'm out on my run, I'll stay within 15 minutes of the house. 15 minutes of running is way less than a mile. So as long as I stay within a mile of the house, I can get back there, give your dog back to you. So I got everything all ready, got the bed and the food and all that kind of stuff up, and then took off my run. And then, I don't know, like an hour later, I got a text from 15 minutes out. And I'm like, okay, at that point, my run was done. I was back at the house mowing at that point. So I was out mowing the yards, and I was still mowing my front yard, my house, and they got there and they were talking and stuff, getting the dog back. The helper was happy to see him. They were happy to see the dog. And he was like, I really appreciate everything you do, and the fact that you allow us to travel and takes our, we don't have to worry about our dog, and we get photo updates, and the dog's doing good, and we feel safe and confident, all that kind of stuff with the dog and that. And we're all having that kind of thing. But how dumb are you that you're out here mowing in the middle of the day? And I'm like, oh, that's nothing. I just got back from my run. I just ran like 6K in this heat, and now I'm mowing. So it's even worse. I said, my thought is, you never know when the zombie is going to hit, and you have to run for your life or do stuff in the heat. And if you don't train in the heat, you can't succeed in the heat. So that's one of the reasons why I run in the hottest part of the day. I work out in the sun the hottest part of the day, because I can sit around in the morning when it's a little bit cooler, in the evening when it's a little bit cooler, and I can have a cigar. I can relax a little bit where it's not so bad, and hang outside, because I'm outside all the time. So my thought is, I can sit around and have a cigar and sweat my butt off and be miserable, and I can run in the cooler temperatures and be miserable, or I can run in the craziest heat and have a cigar in the cooler temperatures in the morning and night and have somewhat more peaceful. So either way, the run's going to suck. It's going to be hot and sweaty and gross. So I might as well at least have an enjoyable morning and an enjoyable evening with my cigars and my dogs, as opposed to trying to run in the evening. It's still going to suck then. So that's kind of my thought. I don't know if it makes sense or not, but that's how I come up with it. So we kind of laughed and joked about that. He took off. I finished mowing the yards. I got both fronts and the across the street, the old house, I got that back mowed. Did not mow my back yet. It's just, I don't know, I kind of ran out of time. I was tired, I was hot, so said hell with it. Went, and I was filthy at this point, covered in grass and stuff. So I went and jumped in the shower real quick, gave myself a quick rinse, and then went and jumped in the pool. Wife joined me in the pool for a little bit, so we hung out in there. Kind of got a little float in, got my body core temperature down, because I was just super sweaty. So knocked out 1.5 liters of water, and then about 16 ounces of Mountain Dew while in the pool, and then headed back in, got myself an actual shower. Went basically, heard my cousin, said she was leaving, said she'd be here in like an hour and 10 minutes, whatever. And then we basically text back. I'm like, hey, do you want to meet at the restaurant instead of driving way down here? So basically, she said, yeah, it'll work. So we sent the address for the restaurant and said, hey, what's your new ETA? And she goes, about an hour and 10 minutes, where we just left. So I'm like, okay, because we were about to leave too. We're only 20 minutes from the restaurant, so I guess we'll sit around here for an hour. So we waited around an extra hour, which wasn't a big deal. Didn't know what was going on. So had I known that, I would have laid down and taken a nap, because I'd laid down for 20 minutes. I didn't sleep, I just laid down. And had I known she was going to be an extra hour, I would have actually tried to get a little bit of sleep there. But it is what it is. So I went ahead, we hung around there for a little bit, and then I couldn't keep my damn eyes open, because I was inside the air conditioning, and I was I already showered and cleaned up and didn't want to get sweaty sitting outside. So I was like, this makes for a miserable, hour. But headed on down. She was getting close. We went down, found some parking. So they pulled up there, texted them, like, asked them where they're at, and they actually pulled in. And it's $20 to park down there. So I went ahead. I was like, hey, there's actually parking here at Breakers. Move your car here and save yourself $20. So moved over there, and Breakers doesn't have a hostess, nothing, so it's kind of seat yourself. There's 7 of us between my wife, my mother, myself, and they're 4. And the staff did not seem to want to help us find a table that fit 7 at all. So I said, hell, let's go over here. So we went to another place, which is Krabby Shack, I think it is, like that. I'm not sure what it's called, but went over to it. So George and I grabbed their rental car, and everybody else walked over there to the restaurant. And we went and pulled in the parking lot, kind of helped find us. Trying to find an off-street parking spot, didn't find it. Found they had an open spot in the parking lot, so we grabbed a spot there, went in, had a nice meal. Everybody had some drinks, chilled out there for a little bit, then went down to the beach and basically let the boys play in the beach and the sand and stuff, whatnot, picking up seashells. And there were some fishermen there, so they were watching the fishermen catching some pompano and some whitings and having a good time there, learning about sand fleas and all kinds of cool stuff. And they kept pushing the rocket launch back, so we finally gave up. The boys were tired and they wanted to go home, so we gave up, said held it, headed back to the house. On their way home, back to Orlando, to the hotel, to the resort, they stopped and got some ice cream at Baskin Robbins, I guess, and let me know, which they made it back safe, which was nice, because I asked them to. And then pretty much I just hung out, finished my cigar. Actually, George and I both had a cigar on the beach. I didn't finish mine on the beach, wasn't there long enough, but went home, finished my cigar, and then wrapped it up and called it a night. So that's all we got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.